Revenge. Oh, that's kids' play. It's a toy for the weak, the fragile, the ones still chained to their pain. And you know what? Revenge isn't power. It's the illusion of control. Like a child smashing a sandcastle because someone dared to build higher. It's petty, pathetic, and leaves you standing in the ruins of what could have been your peace. Now, let me ask you something. What's revenge, really? A mirror? A gun? A punchline to a cruel joke you think you're writing? No, it's a leash, wrapped tight around your throat, pulled by the very person who hurt you. The tighter you grip their throat, the tighter that leash pulls back. And suddenly, you're not free. You're a puppet, the strings of your anger dancing to their beat. They broke your heart, right? Tore through your soul like a thief in the night, taking everything that mattered, leaving nothing but shards of trust and whispers of what-ifs. And now, you're burning for payback. You want them to feel the weight of your tears, the thunder of your rage. But stop for a moment, really stop, and ask yourself this. Will it fix you? Will watching them crumble put the shattered pieces of you back together? The truth hits like a bullet. Revenge is never about the other person. It's about the lies you tell yourself, thinking their suffering will heal your wounds. But Stoicism teaches us this. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius penned those words centuries ago, and they still cut sharper than a dagger. You don't win by sinking to their level. You win by rising above it. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're walking through a forest and someone shoots an arrow into your heart. Pain explodes through you. You stumble, clutching the wound, but then you do something insane. You pick up another arrow and stab yourself again. That second arrow? That's revenge. It doesn't stop the bleeding. It doesn't heal the first wound. All it does is deepen your suffering. Revenge promises satisfaction, but delivers emptiness. It's a poison you drink, hoping it will kill the other person. But the only one it destroys is you. Detachment, on the other hand, is a shield. It's armor forged in fire, tempered by the understanding that no one, no betrayal, no heartbreak, deserves the power to shatter you. Detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop being controlled by what you feel. Fear. That's what drives revenge. Fear that you'll look weak. Fear that they'll move on unscathed while you drown in sorrow. Fear that the world will think less of you. But here's the twist. Fear is a liar. It whispers in your ear, feeding your insecurity, making you believe your worth is tied to their pain. It's not. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. You can't control their actions, their thoughts, or their apologies, or lack thereof. What you can control is your response. Revenge is the easy path. Self-mastery is the harder road. But that harder road, it leads to freedom. Now, let's flip the script. What if, instead of revenge, you used this pain to fuel your greatness? What if you took all the energy you'd waste plotting their downfall and poured it into building your empire? They broke your heart. Fine. Then make them irrelevant. Let your success, your happiness, your unshakable strength be the loudest silence they've ever heard. Do you know what truly terrifies those who hurt you? Not your anger, not your revenge. What terrifies them is your indifference, your ability to walk away from the wreckage without looking back, to thrive in the aftermath, to grow stronger in the space where they thought they'd leave you weak. So here's your weapon. Not revenge, but resilience. Not anger, but transformation. Not bitterness, but brilliance. Because in the end, you don't need to destroy them. You need to build you. Here's the final blow. They don't hold your crown. They never did. You are the ruler of your own kingdom, the architect of your own destiny. And no betrayal, no heartbreak, no storm can steal that from you unless you let it. Take a deep breath. Look in the mirror. Say it loud. I am unshakable. I am unstoppable. I am free. That's your affirmation. That's your truth. Because no one has the power to break you unless you hand it to them. And hey, we're not done yet. We're just getting started. This isn't just about heartbreak or betrayal. It's about what comes next. Today, we're going to dive deep into this, into the truth no one has the guts to face, let alone discuss. We're going to shatter the illusion of revenge, tear apart the chains of pain, and show you what real power looks like. This isn't just about surviving, it's about conquering. And yes, we'll also uncover the art of building something extraordinary from the ashes they left behind. Because the crown isn't theirs to hold, it's yours. Always has been, always will be. So, if you're ready to rise, to reclaim your power, to own your kingdom, then stay with me. This is where it all begins. The crown is yours to claim. And now, let's dive into this. Number 1, the illusion of power in revenge. Revenge. Oh, it's seductive, isn't it? The promise of it whispers sweetly in your ear, feeding the fire of your anger. It tells you that you'll feel powerful when they finally feel your pain. It promises closure, satisfaction, justice. But here's the catch. It's all a lie, a mirage shimmering in the desert of your pain. You crawl toward it, desperate, parched for relief, and when you arrive, you're still thirsty, still broken, still chained to the very person who hurt you. Let's call revenge what it really is, an illusion, a sleight of hand that distracts you from the truth. It tricks you into believing you're in control when, in reality, you're nothing but a puppet, your strings pulled by resentment. And the worst part? You're the one tying those strings around your own wrists. Revenge isn't power, it's a prison. Imagine a snake biting its own tail, venom coursing through its body, thinking it's attacking its enemy. That's what revenge does. It poisons you from the inside, feeding your anger, your bitterness, your pain. And what does that pain give you? Nothing but more nights staring at the ceiling, replaying the betrayal in your mind, crafting elaborate fantasies of their downfall while your life stands still. Meanwhile, they've moved on. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. Think about that for a moment. Every time you let anger dictate your actions, every time you stoop to their level, you give them more power. You become a reflection of the very thing you despise. Is that power, or is that surrender? Here's the truth no one wants to admit. Revenge doesn't hurt them the way you think it will. Sure, maybe you embarrass them. Maybe you cause them some momentary discomfort. But will it break them the way they broke you? Will it rewind time and undo the damage? No. Because revenge isn't justice. It's just pain, repackaged and re-gifted. And you can't heal by hurting. Let me paint you a picture. You're standing in a dark room, holding a burning torch. The flame represents your anger, your desire for revenge. You think the light will guide you, give you clarity. But as you hold it tighter, the flame starts to burn your hand. You scream, but you don't let go. The room fills with smoke, choking you. Still, you cling to that torch because you think dropping it means losing. But here's the twist. The only way to win is to let it go. Revenge isn't just an illusion, it's a thief. It steals your time, your energy, your peace of mind. Every second you spend plotting, obsessing and fantasizing about their pain is a second you could have spent rebuilding your life. Every ounce of energy you pour into revenge is energy you could have used to grow stronger, wiser, happier. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Do you hear that? How you react. Not them, not their apologies, or lack of them, not their regrets, or their smug indifference. Your power lies in your reaction. And revenge? That's not power. That's surrendering your reaction to the person who hurt you. Let's get real. Why do you want revenge? Is it because you think it will make you feel strong? Because you think it will erase your pain? Or is it because you're scared that if you don't hurt them, they've won? That's the real illusion of revenge, the idea that your strength is measured by how much damage you can inflict. But let me tell you something. Strength isn't in destruction, it's in restraint. True power is the ability to walk away, to rise above, to rebuild yourself so completely that their actions become irrelevant. Do you know what scares the people who hurt you? Not your anger, not your revenge. What scares them is your indifference. The moment you stop caring about what they did, the moment you stop letting their actions define your worth, you win. Here's a metaphor to hold on to. Imagine your heart is a fortress. Someone came in and wrecked it, broke down the walls, stole the treasures inside. Now, you have two choices. You can spend all your time chasing after them, trying to reclaim what they took, leaving your fortress in ruins. Or you can stay, rebuild, make it stronger, higher, impenetrable. The choice is yours. Revenge is the chase. Rebuilding is the triumph. Let me leave you with this affirmation. I am not their victim. Drop it in the comments and say it again and again until you believe it, because that's where your power lies, in reclaiming yourself, not in destroying them. The illusion of revenge is just that, an illusion. And the moment you see through it, the moment you step out of the shadows and into your light, you've already won. So let go of the torch. Let the fire burn out, and turn your energy towards something greater, becoming untouchable. Number 2, the price of revenge. A poisoned well, revenge. It promises relief, satisfaction, even triumph. But what does it really give you? A poisoned well. You think you're drinking justice, but each sip only makes you sicker. Revenge doesn't quench your thirst for closure. It leaves you parched, hollow, and chained to your pain. Imagine standing by a well. You're dying of thirst, desperate for relief. The water looks clean, tempting, but the moment you drink, you feel it. The bitterness, the poison coursing through you. That's revenge. It looks like salvation, but tastes like suffering. And the worst part? You're the one who poisoned it. Let's be brutally honest about what revenge costs. It costs your peace of mind, your energy, your future. Every moment you spend obsessing over payback is a moment stolen from your healing, your growth, your happiness. Revenge doesn't just keep you tethered to the person who hurt you. It keeps the wound open, festering. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But revenge? Revenge is giving your power away. It's like handing the keys to your happiness to the very person who wrecked it in the first place. Think about it. They hurt you, broke you, betrayed you. And now, instead of focusing on healing, you're spending all your energy on them. It's like falling into a pit, then digging it deeper just to prove a point. Who's really winning here? Here's the cruel irony of revenge. It doesn't hurt them the way you think it will. Sure, you might get a moment of satisfaction, a fleeting high when you see them stumble. But then what? That high fades. The pain lingers, and you're left right where you started, angry, hurt, and stuck. Let me give you a metaphor. Revenge is like throwing a boomerang in the dark. You think it's flying toward them, but you can't see it coming back. And when it does, it hits you harder than it ever hit them. You end up bruised, battered, and wondering why you thought it was worth it. The truth is, revenge doesn't heal wounds. It carves new ones. It doesn't fix what's broken. It breaks you further. And here's the kicker. The person who hurt you might not even care. While you're busy plotting their downfall, they're living rent-free in your mind. They've moved on while you're still chained to the pain they caused. And let's talk about what revenge does to your soul. It twists you, hardens you. It takes the best parts of who you are, your kindness, your light, your humanity, and drowns them in bitterness. Is that who you want to be? A mirror image of the very person who hurt you. Epictetus said, "When someone does you wrong, do not respond by wronging them in return." Why? Because when you stoop to their level, you lose sight of yourself. You let their actions dictate your character. You hand them control over who you become. Think about that. The person who betrayed you, who shattered your trust, they've already taken enough from you. Do you really want to give them more? Do you really want to let them shape your future, your choices, your peace? Here's a hard truth. Revenge isn't power. It's a leash. The more you pull, the tighter it wraps around your neck. And every time you think about them, every time you relive the pain, you're tightening that leash. The only way to free yourself is to let go. But letting go doesn't mean letting them off the hook. It doesn't mean pretending they didn't hurt you. It means choosing yourself over your anger. It means deciding that your peace is more important than their punishment. Picture this. You're standing on a battlefield, holding a sword. The person who hurt you is miles away, living their life, oblivious to your rage. But you're still there, swinging that sword at nothing but ghosts, exhausted, angry, alone. That's what revenge does. It keeps you fighting a war that only exists in your mind. So what's the alternative? Walk off the battlefield, lay down the sword, stop poisoning your own well, choose to rebuild instead of destroy. Because the greatest revenge isn't hurting them. It's rising so high they can't reach you anymore. It's turning your pain into power, your scars into stories of triumph. Here's an affirmation for you. I refuse to drink from the poisoned well. I choose freedom. I choose growth. I choose peace. Say it again and again, until it's louder than your anger, louder than your pain. Revenge comes with a price, and that price is you. Your peace, your happiness, your future. Don't pay it. Don't let them take more from you than they already have. You deserve better. You deserve freedom. And the moment you let go of revenge, that's the moment you start to win. Number 3, the power of detachment. They broke your heart, shattered your trust, and walked away as if nothing happened. You're left standing in the ruins, holding the jagged pieces of what you thought was real. The world tells you to fight, to seek revenge, to scream until they feel even a fraction of your pain. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. Revenge won't heal you. Clinging to anger won't mend what's broken. Only detachment can set you free. Detachment is not weakness. It's not apathy or indifference. It's the purest form of power, a kind of strength that says, you no longer control me. Because that's what this is about, isn't it? Control. They took something from you, your love, your trust, your peace. And now they live in your mind, haunting your every thought, dictating your every emotion. Detachment is your way out. It's not about forgetting, It's about reclaiming what's yours. Imagine carrying a stone in your hand. At first it doesn't seem heavy, but as time passes your hand aches, your arm trembles, and the weight becomes unbearable. That stone is your anger, your resentment, your need to make them pay. The longer you hold on, the more it consumes you. Detachment is the moment you decide to drop the stone. It doesn't mean the stone disappears. It means you no longer bear its weight. And in that release, you find peace. You've been told that holding on shows strength, that clinging to your pain proves how deeply you felt. But that's a lie. True strength is in letting go. It's in looking at the person who hurt you and saying, "You don't own me anymore." Detachment isn't turning your back on the hurt. It's turning toward your future. It's not denial, it's transcendence. And transcendence, that's power. The great Stoics understood this. Epictetus taught us that it's not what happens to us that causes suffering, but how we respond. They broke your heart, that's a fact. But your suffering, that's your choice. Detachment is the refusal to let their actions define your happiness. It's the recognition that their betrayal is about them, not you. When you detach, you're not ignoring the pain. You're refusing to let it own you. Some will tell you that detachment makes you cold, unfeeling. They're wrong. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop over-caring. It's about creating space between your emotions and your identity. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, it was unfair. But you are not your pain. You are not their betrayal. You are not the story they wrote. Detachment is taking the pen back and writing your own ending. Think of it like a storm. When you're attached, you're standing in the middle of it, buffeted by the wind and rain, struggling to stay upright. Detachment is stepping outside the storm, watching it from a distance. The storm still rages, but it no longer consumes you. You are the observer, not the victim. And in that shift, you find your power. Detachment doesn't happen overnight. It's not a switch you flip, but a practice you commit to. It's the quiet decision, moment by moment, to choose yourself over your anger. It's the discipline of reminding yourself that their actions don't dictate your worth. It's hard. It's messy. But every step toward detachment is a step toward freedom. There's a kind of fear that comes with letting go, isn't there? A fear that if you stop caring, they've won. A fear that detachment means weakness, that it means they'll think they got away with it. But here's the truth. Detachment isn't about them. It's about you. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of their actions. Letting go doesn't mean letting them win. It means taking yourself out of the game entirely, refusing to play by their rules. What scares them isn't your anger, it's your indifference. When you detach, you send a message louder than any act of revenge ever could. You don't matter enough to hurt me anymore. That's power. That's freedom. That's the kind of strength that shakes the ground they walk on. You are not a puppet. Your emotions are not strings for someone else to pull. Detachment cuts those strings. It's the ultimate act of rebellion, the ultimate declaration of self-worth. And when you master it, you become untouchable, not because you don't feel, but because you refuse to let your feelings control you. So here's your moment. Let go of the stone. Step out of the storm. Look them in the eye, not with anger, not with pain, but with the quiet strength of someone who has reclaimed their power. And say it out loud so the world can hear. I am free. Number 4, transforming pain into power. They hurt you, broke you, left you to pick up the shattered pieces of your heart, your trust, your identity. But here's the thing they didn't count on. Pain is fuel. When used the right way, it's the fire that burns away weakness, the forge that creates something stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. They thought they destroyed you, but all they did was hand you the tools to rebuild into something they could never touch. Pain is inevitable. It's the price of living, of loving, of daring to hope. But suffering, that's a choice. You can let the pain break you, keep you down, turn you into a shadow of who you were, or you can use it. Turn it into something so powerful, it not only heals you, but propels you into a version of yourself they wouldn't even recognize. Think of a diamond. Do you know what creates it? Pressure. Years of relentless, unforgiving pressure. The kind that would crush anything weaker. But the result? The hardest, most brilliant stone in existence. That's what pain can do to you if you let it. They gave you the pressure. Now it's your turn to decide whether you'll crumble or shine. You have a choice right now. Stay in the ashes, replaying the hurt, the betrayal, the loss. Or rise. Use the pain as the foundation of your comeback. Let it remind you of what you deserve, of what you'll never settle for again. Let it sharpen your focus, fuel your ambition, and ignite a fire that burns so brightly it blinds anyone who ever doubted you. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. You're more powerful than they ever imagined. If they knew what their betrayal would spark in you, they'd have thought twice. Because when you take that pain, that anger, and channel it into growth, into success, into unstoppable momentum, you become something they can't touch. Something they can't control, something they can't even comprehend. Pain is a teacher. It shows you where you're vulnerable, where you need to grow, where you need to fortify yourself. Use it, learn from it, let it toughen your skin, sharpen your mind, and open your eyes to your own strength. Because that strength, it's been there all along. The pain didn't create it, it revealed it. You don't need revenge. Your transformation is the revenge. Your success, your peace, your ability to rise above it all, that's what will haunt them. Not your anger, not your tears, but the fact that you didn't just survive, you thrived. Look in the mirror. The person staring back at you has been through hell and made it out alive. That's power. That's resilience. That's a force that no betrayal can break. Say it out loud right now. This pain is my fuel. This pain is my power. This pain will not define me. I will define it. Rise. Rebuild. Transformation. You are not broken. You are becoming. Number 5. The fear that fuels revenge. You tried to attract them, didn't you? You gave them your time, your energy, your vulnerability. Maybe you weren't just trying, you had them. You were building something real, or so you thought. Maybe you were already living together, sharing dreams, laughter, and secrets. Then one day, snap, it's gone. They walked away, or worse, betrayed you, leaving you stunned, hollow, grasping at the pieces of what you thought was forever. And now, there's this anger burning inside you. But beneath that anger, what is it? Be honest. It's fear. Fear that you weren't enough. Fear that you gave everything and still weren't chosen. Fear that they've moved on while you're still standing in the ruins. And that fear, it whispers to you, begging you to fight back, to hurt them the way they hurt you. That's where revenge is born. Not from strength, but from fear. When they left or betrayed you, they took something with them, your sense of control. Suddenly, you're not the one writing the story anymore. You're a character in their plot, a victim of their choices. Revenge feels like a way to take the pen back, to rewrite the ending. But here's the hard truth. Revenge doesn't give you control. It chains you to them. It keeps you tethered to their actions, their decisions, their power. Let's talk about why this fear is so powerful. It's because it strikes at the core of who you are. You've been conditioned to believe that being chosen validates your worth, that if they left, it must mean something's wrong with you. That fear isn't just about them moving on, it's about what their leaving says about you. But here's what you need to understand. Their actions don't define you. They never did. Imagine trying to outrun your own shadow. No matter how fast you go, no matter how far you run, it's always there, following you. That's what happens when fear fuels your actions. You can try to hurt them, make them feel what you felt, but the shadow of your fear will still be there, chasing you. Because revenge doesn't heal fear, it feeds it. The Stoics taught us to face fear head-on, to strip it of its power by looking it in the eye. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Replace death with rejection, betrayal, loss, because that's what we really fear. And in focusing so much on what they took from us, we forget to live. Ask yourself, what are you really afraid of? That they'll forget you? That their life will go on without you in it? Or that deep down you'll never recover? That's the real fight, not with them, but with yourself. The only way to conquer fear is to let go of the need for revenge, to stop proving your worth to someone who never valued it, to realize that their leaving didn't break you, it woke you up. Look in the mirror and say it, "I am enough. Their actions don't define me. I will not be afraid." The fear that fuels revenge is a liar. It tells you that you need to strike back to be whole again. But the truth is, you don't need them to validate your worth. You don't need revenge to rebuild your strength. What you need is to face your fear, let it pass through you, and rise above it. Because the moment you stop running from your shadow, you step into the light. And in that light, you are untouchable. Number 6. The strength of indifference. Indifference. It sounds cold, doesn't it? Like shutting a door and walking away without a second glance. But here's the truth. Indifference isn't about being cold. It's about being untouchable. It's the ultimate power move, the silent roar that says, "You don't control me anymore." When someone hurts you, their greatest weapon isn't the betrayal itself. It's the grip they have on your mind afterward. They live rent-free in your thoughts, dragging you down, keeping you locked in a cycle of anger, pain, and obsession. And every time you react, whether it's through anger, tears, or even the desperate plotting of revenge, you feed their power. Indifference? That's cutting off their supply. It's reclaiming your mind, your energy, your life. Imagine this. They're standing in front of you, expecting fireworks, rage, sorrow, anything to show that they still matter to you. But instead, you give them nothing. No reaction, no acknowledgement, just silence. That silence. It's deafening, because what terrifies those who hurt you isn't your anger, it's your indifference. The moment they realize they no longer have any power over you, that's the moment they lose. Indifference doesn't mean you didn't care. It doesn't mean the pain wasn't real. It means you've chosen not to let it define you. It's the strength to move forward without dragging the weight of their actions with you. It's looking at the storm they created and deciding to stand in the sun instead. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Indifference is the highest form of control over your reaction. It's not passive, it's active, deliberate, and powerful. It's not ignoring the wound, it's choosing to heal without their permission. Think of indifference as armor. While they're swinging their weapons of manipulation, guilt, and regret, Your indifference deflects every blow. It's not about pretending you don't feel. It's about refusing to let those feelings dictate your actions. You can feel the pain, acknowledge it, and still decide, this doesn't control me. Indifference is freedom. It's walking away from the game they're trying to pull you into. It's refusing to stoop to their level, refusing to waste your energy on someone who didn't value it in the first place. And in doing so, you win, not by defeating them, but by rising above them. When you choose indifference, you send a message without saying a word. You are not worth my time, my energy, or my peace. That's power. That's strength. That's the kind of silence that echoes louder than any revenge. Say it to yourself right now. I am above this. I am unshakable. I am free. Let those words sink in. Let them guide you every time you feel the pull of anger, the whisper of revenge. Remember, the ultimate victory isn't in fighting back. It's in not needing to fight at all. That's the strength of indifference. Number 7. Building your kingdom after heartbreak. They broke you, didn't they? Tore down the walls of the life you were building together, leaving you in the rubble of what once felt like everything. And for a moment, or maybe longer, you believed the lie. The lie that this was the end, that their betrayal was your downfall, that you'd never rise again. But here's the truth. This is where you begin. Heartbreak isn't the end of your story. It's the plot twist. It's the moment the hero is forced to rebuild, to rise from the ashes, to claim their true power. That hero is you. They thought they took your foundation, but what they really did was give you the space to build something stronger. Not for them, not for anyone else, for you. Imagine standing in front of a castle that's been burned to the ground. It's painful, isn't it, to see the dreams you built together reduced to ash. But here's the thing, ashes are fertile ground. What grows next is entirely up to you. You can sit there mourning the loss, or you can pick up a hammer and start building your kingdom brick by brick. This time, it's yours. Think of every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt as bricks. They aren't signs of weakness, they're proof of your resilience. Every time you choose to get up when the weight of heartbreak feels unbearable, you're laying the foundation. Every time you refuse to let their memory define your worth, you're building the walls higher. Every step forward is a declaration. This is my kingdom, and no one can take it from me. Here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Your power was never in their hands. It wasn't in their love, their approval, or their promises. Your power has always been yours. And now, with the clarity that heartbreak brings, you see it for what it is. Limitless, unstoppable, undeniable. This is your time to focus on you. Build the life you've always deserved, the one they couldn't see. Turn the energy you wasted on them into fuel for your growth. Invest in your dreams, your goals, your passions. Create a life so extraordinary that the version of you they walked away from becomes unrecognizable. And when they look back, and they will, they won't see the shattered version of you they left behind. They'll see someone who didn't just survive, they thrived. They'll see a ruler sitting on a throne built from the lessons they tried to destroy you with. But the best part, by then, their opinion won't matter. Your kingdom will be too grand, your power too absolute, for their shadow to even reach you. Stand up, look at the ruins and say it out loud. This is where I rise. This is where I rebuild. This is my kingdom, and I reign supreme. The pain doesn't own you. They don't own you. This life is yours, and it's time to claim it. Building thrive. Reign. Your kingdom awaits. Number 8. The legacy of your strength. Every scar tells a story. Every battle you fought, every heartbreak you've endured. It's all etched into the fabric of who you are. But here's the thing, your scars don't define your weakness. They declare your strength. The legacy you leave behind won't be the pain you endured, but the resilience you showed. It won't be about who hurt you, but about who you became because of it. Strength isn't loud. It doesn't shout or demand attention. True strength is quiet, unyielding, like the roots of a tree that grow deeper after every storm. And when you've weathered the storms of betrayal, loss, and heartbreak, your roots don't just hold you up. They become a foundation for others. That's your legacy. It's in the way you stand tall, unbroken, even when the world tried to crush you. When someone hurts you, they think they've won. They think their actions have the power to diminish you. But here's the truth. Every time you choose to rise, you rewrite the narrative. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. And that resilience, that ability to turn pain into power, becomes a beacon for others. Your strength inspires those who are still in the trenches of their battles. You become living proof that there's life after heartbreak, that it's possible to rebuild and rise even stronger. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones who lived a perfect, unchallenged life? Or are they the ones who faced the fire and walked out of it transformed? Strength isn't born in comfort. It's forged in adversity. Your legacy will be the example you set for others, the way you turned your darkest moments into your brightest triumphs. Imagine a mirror. Every time you rise above the pain, every time you choose growth over revenge, that mirror reflects not just who you are, but who you're becoming. The reflection changes, evolves, becomes stronger, brighter. And one day, when you look in that mirror, you'll see it, the legacy of your strength staring back at you. The person who once doubted themselves, who once let heartbreak define them, is gone. In their place stands someone who didn't just survive, they thrived. This isn't just about you. Your strength will ripple out, touching lives you'll never even know. A stranger who sees your resilience will find the courage to keep going. A friend struggling in silence will draw strength from your example. Your legacy isn't just in what you overcome, it's in the way you empower others to do the same. So stand tall, wear your scars like armor. Let your story be one of triumph, of transformation, of undeniable strength. Say it with conviction. My pain built my power. My strength is my legacy. I am unstoppable. And as you walk forward, remember, you're not just writing your own story, you're inspiring others to write theirs. That is the legacy of your strength. That is your power. So, my dear friends, revenge. It's the trap we all stumble toward when the pain feels unbearable. But let's be honest, has it ever truly healed anyone? Revenge binds you. It keeps you tethered to the one who hurt you, replaying their actions over and over in your mind. It's a leash made of anger, and every time you tug on it, you feel the pull just as much as they do. The harder you fight to make them suffer, the more you suffer alongside them. That's not power. That's imprisonment. Detachment, though, that's freedom. It's the moment you cut the leash, walk away, and reclaim your life. It's not about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about refusing to let it own you. Detachment frees you from the storm they tried to trap you in. It allows you to rise, to grow, to rebuild. And in that freedom, you find the space to transform. Transformation is where the true victory lies. When you take the pain they caused and use it as fuel, you become unstoppable. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt becomes a stepping stone. You don't just heal, you evolve. You build a life so full of strength, peace and purpose that their actions become irrelevant. That's not just winning. That's rewriting the game entirely. Here's your challenge. Let go. Not for them, for you. Let go of the anger, the bitterness, the need to make them pay. Instead, focus on building. Build yourself into someone so strong, so radiant, so untouchable that they couldn't hurt you even if they tried. That's the ultimate revenge. Your indifference, your success, your undeniable strength. Look at your pain one last time and say it with conviction. You don't control me anymore. I choose peace. I choose power. I choose me. Because that's where your true victory begins, not in their downfall, but in your rise. Let them watch as you thrive. Let them see the life you create without them. Let them witness your transformation. Your strength is your revenge.